Hi everyone, and welcome to Power Plays. My name's Harry, and I'm going to be showing you how to get all 3 stars on every level for 2 Point Hospital. 2 Point Hospital is a fantastic game. For all those familiar with Theme Hospital, the nostalgia is going to flow through. It is such a good game. It's so much fun, it's so quirky, got lots of humour points. You can go into so much detail, you can stay out of the details. It is for everyone. This game is so much fun. You can just spend hours and hours playing on it. It's available on the PlayStation, the Xbox, the Switch, the PC, so really accessible. And yeah, let's jump right in.
At 2 Point Hospital, over 52% of our patients believe they leave healthier than when they arrived. Our precisely calibrated equipment is operated by compassionate healthcare practitioners, many of whom have even been to medical school or watched ER. If you suffer from turtle head, let us ease your worries and noggin gently out of your body. Chest infection is no laughing matter. Put your trust and oversized shoes in our capable hands. We're building a brighter, safer future, and hardly anything will stand in our way. You deserve the best. So join us at 2 Point Hospital. We're open for new staff, new patients, and a new you. Can I go play golf yet? I'm teeing off at 3.
And that's exactly what the game's like. I didn't want to give too much away, but you can see all the hilarious different diseases. Turtle head, chest infection. There's loads more to come. And it is as manic as what you can see. Fires, ghosts, patients. Oh yeah, it is so much fun. So much fun. Alright, we've got our little tutorial guy down there at the bottom, just showing us where to go. So we're going to start off with Hogsport, but just first, you can see, look at all the levels we've got. And there's all that to explore over there, and we can't right now because we haven't unlocked it, but there is a load, can you see it? There's a load of levels over there as well. And each level comes with its own unique characteristics. So like there's going to be frequent lightning storms that damage your machines. There's going to be places where it's super cold, so you need lots of radiators. Places where it's super warm, so you need lots of air conditioning. Each hospital has a different mixture of diseases, and yeah, it is so much fun. Each level is a new challenge. So let's start with Hogsport. So begin your career as a hospital administrator, learn the basics of the job by establishing your first hospital. And this is going to go through all the different game mechanics, show you how to build stuff, and it's going to force us to build very basic stuff to begin with. But don't worry, we'll eventually upgrade all these rooms, and I'll even actually publish separate videos to show you what I believe is the most efficient room for what you're going to do. So let's get started. I'm super excited for this. And I'm playing this for the first time on the PlayStation. I usually play on the Switch. So everything that I unlock, you're going to be unlocking it at the same time. So we'll really go through this journey together. So welcome to 2 Point County. Are you ready to start building your first hospital and curing some patients? Yes, I am. So this just shows you the mechanics of how to move. So as always, in most games, you're moving around with your left joystick, and then the camera with your right joystick. And then we can use the shoulder buttons, R2 and L2, to zoom. So zoom out, and you can see in the top right, what was there was the progress as to where you are on the different missions you've got to do. So for example, I'll do a bit slower with this one. So the reception, we need to build a reception. Patients head here as they enter the hospital. So you can see in the top right, we have build a reception desk. And it will show you exactly how far you are to progressing that goal. Say it's a goal where you have to cure X amount of patients. It will be, oh, you've cured 30 out of 100, for example. And it will just show you where you are for that goal. So, as you can see in the bottom left, that's your panel for all your options. Building rooms, building items, hiring staff, that's in the first one. You can then see to your right, you've got to look at all your staff, fire staff, pay rises of staff. There's loads. We'll go through them all individually as we get to them. We have patients, you can check up on what your patients are doing, what illnesses you're facing, general hospital overview, your prices if you need to take out a loan, and then this just gives the hospital a different view, so you can see how hot or cold it is, how attractive your hospital is, and again, we'll go through each of these as we get there. On the right hand side, you've got how much money you've got left, so we've got 200k. We can see the date, January the 13th, the first year, and you can actually see where it says L3 and R3, that controls time. So at the moment I pause the game by pressing L3, so you can see there it's pausing. This game runs on 3 speeds, so you can play it on slow-mo, regular, and then fast forward. So you can see the days are moving a lot quicker now, 15, 16, you can see it's moving rather slowly, and then you can see it's moving at normal speed. We've also got reputation in the bottom left-hand corner that shows how reputable your hospital is. Things like cure rates, patient happiness, prices are going to affect all that, and it's going to be part of the challenges later on. And then you can see your hospital level. Hospital level is going to be part of some requirements to get 3 stars, and essentially what that is the number of buildings, number of rooms, number of items you've got, how many staff you've got, etc, etc. It all builds your hospital value. And then just next to it to the right is our kudos points. We unlock these as we go along, and we can buy stuff to unlock them. It's essentially in-game currency. So let's start with the pointing arrows in items. So we're going to build a reception desk. You can actually, I've not unlocked it yet, but there is a reception room you can do, but I personally prefer to do the reception desk. So it's $1,000, let's call it, and we want to place our reception desk near the entrance, obviously, because that's where the patient's going to come in first, but we don't want to put it too close to the entrance because we might get a queue and then they're going to be backed out the door. So you can put it a bit back here, or you could tuck it nicely in this corner,
talk, music and news
or
to the
this
whole
corner
of
here.
2 Point County.
I'm going
And
to
if you're
tuck
listening
it
to
in
us
this
from the
corner
newly
here,
opened
because what that
hospital,
allows
just turn up that volume, because
for the
nothing
queuing
drowns
to-
out the sound of sick people like the
what I
voice
want
of
to
a
set the
world-class
queuing
DJ.
to be here.
Coming up next, 42 hours of music from the background band.
So-
Enjoy!
You can hear the radio in the background and all the music. There's some really funny things that this guy says. So let's hire a staff member. So you can hire your doctors, you can hire, hang on, let me just pause the game first. So you can hire doctors, nurses, assistants, and janitors. And as you can see, they all have different star levels. So the star indicates how many training slots they have unlocked. So you can see, for example, Barney Sandals, great name, is 1 star out of 5, and he has 1 empty training slot. You can see it just there. The next person, Maddie Mouth, is also 1 star, has only 1 training slot unlocked, but they have already been trained, and they've been trained in treatment. So you can see that, treatment. And I'll explain what all these different skills mean and what they do as we go along. But treatment, as you can read there, increases treatment skills by 10%. And then we have Victor Mcenbosch. He's 2 star, and you can see he's been trained once and he's got a free slot. So he's ready to get training straight away. And this guy has GP skills. We'll use that in a second and I'll go into it, but let's hire a assistant first. So assistants, the main skill you're looking for is customer service. You can get motivation, which means they'll move quicker. You can get happiness as well, tireless. But what I focus on for a customer service heavy assistant, essentially. So you can see the 50% customer service skills and 50% again increase in customer service skills. Now what you need to look out for is how much they're going to cost. So this is going to be $6,927 a year. And then the employee reference. So Jamie Lynn likes to argue, thinks her life is a rom-com, has green fingers, and excels in organising cables. Great. Now, the key bits are what you can see in that pop-up box to the right. Argumentative, so will argue with other people. Romantic, not really that important. But green fingers, likes to water plants when idle. So if there's nothing for them to do, they're just walking around, and we have plants around, they'll water plants. Usually janitors do that, but it can be quite handy. We've also got Tilly. Now, Tilly is 3 stars, has 10% motivation, 2 customer service as well, so as good as customer service as Jamie Lynn. Slightly more expensive, but is on the cheaper side. And then thwarted by anything childproof. Oh dear. So you can see that's just the little humour that it has. I find it hilarious. So I'm going to hire Tilly. You can see there it has hire and reject, and it has a recruitment fee, so that fee you'll pay immediately. And essentially what happens is, let me just reject one for now. So I'm going to reject Logan, and what happens is that we have another slot to potentially hire a new applicant. So in 16 days we will get that applicant. So I'm going to hire Tilly first, and I'm going to plop them just here, and that'll start them working on the service reception immediately. So I'm now going to fast forward the game, and we now need to build a GP's office. So what happens, patients will first go to the reception area, and then they'll go to the GP's office, unless they're emergency patients, but we'll get to that later. So let's build a GP's office.
GP's office needed to conduct general practice.
Yes, indeed. So rooms, we have a GP's office, and that price there, $5,800, is the cheapest you can do a GP's office for. So it is the minimum requirement, because all rooms have to have certain things in it. And you can see in the pop-up, the staff requirement is a doctor, so we need a doctor, can only work in GPs, not nurses, janitors, or assistants. And then you can see it is the diagnosis room. Patients are going to see it quite frequently, and the GP is going to decide what treatment to do, etc., etc. So let's build a GP's office, and I'm going to stick it in this nice corner here. Now, I always build my GP rooms 4x3. Now, the minimum size you can do is 3x3, so you can see it's grey here, can't do that. But 4x3 is slightly bigger than the minimum, and I'll show you eventually, not now, but I'll show you why I do it this way. It's going to be part of my ideal build for a GP's room. So I always place the door for GP's rooms on the left, because I put the office desk, just here. What that does is that means that it's very quick for patients to come in, and it's very quick for doctors to come in as well, if they need to leave, go on breaks, etc., etc. Now you can see here it's going to go red because we can't build it here because the door's in the way. So I want to build it as close as I can to the door, and if you touch the touchpad, you can see it changing on the bottom left of your screen now. It says enable grid snap, disable grid snap, and grid snap basically just makes it automatically snap to the perfect part of the grid. So you can see there. And if you disable grid snap, you can really just do that extra bit of detail and push it as far as possible.
Maybe request that all outpatients
So
kindly get out.
I always put my GP's desk there, and we now need to do a filing cabinet. Filing cabinet doesn't really do much, to be honest. The GP's going to occasionally go there when idle, so I'm just going to plop it pretty close to the desk just here. And what I'll use this extra space here, it's why I've not done it in the corner, is for building a radiator at some point when we are allowed to. So you can see all these things we haven't unlocked yet, and you can see the kudos points which we need to unlock them, and we'll get there eventually. I could put a bin in there, fire extinguisher plan. I'm not really interested right now in doing that. We'll get to edit this room later, but if you want to make it pretty with plants, feel free. It will improve the efficiency of the doctor and the happiness levels of everyone in that room. But I'm not going to do it just yet, and you'll see why. So I've now built the room, so what's next? We are going to need to hire a doctor. So let's go to hire a doctor, and there's that GP specialist. Definitely going to grab them. So Victor Mcenbosch, I'm going to drop you straight in the GP's office, and I'm going to get you to work. And voila, our hospital is now officially open and ready for business. So
There's no going back.
let's wait. We got our first patient, and you can see if you hover the reception desk, if there's a queue, this is patient number 1 in the queue. And you will see here, it's ... because he's waiting to go in, and then he's in. And there we go, we have diagnosed a patient. 100%, and the happiness of the patient has been increased by 15%. And you can click on the patient, and you can see these sort of stats. So estimated chance of cure, 100%. We're definitely going to cure this person. Diagnosis certainty, 100%. Perfect. You can check their mood. Are they happy? Are they thirsty? Are they cold? Do they like the hospital? Is it clean? And then look at the log. So you can see, all right, they arrived. Then straight away they went to the reception, and you can see days happened in between here. But they arrived, they checked in, and they paid $500, and they've been diagnosed. Perfect. And you can see we've also got a pop-up on the bottom right, which is a mail. So let's have a look at the mail. We need a pharmacy. So this person, we need a pharmacy to cure them. They have gout. Frequently transmitted in bathrooms, and modern medication is effective, unlike earlier times when we had to dig it out painfully with a screwdriver. Brilliant. So we can either send the patient home, or we can get them to wait. And we need a pharmacy to be able to do that, to treat them. So first, let's get the patient to wait, and let's build a pharmacy. So there we go. So that's just indicating that we needed the message. I jumped the gun a bit there, and now it's saying, okay, build a pharmacy. So let's go to rooms, and we can see we've got a pharmacy. So the minimum for this is 600. And again, minimum room size is 3x3, but I'm going to build it 4x3. And you'll see why later once we've been able to kit all the room out. Maybe not in this guide, but when you see the hospital guides and the room guides that I do, you'll see why I do it this way. So this is a drug mixer. So this is where the nurse is going to be and the patient's going to be. So I'm going to put it close to the door, just there. Now, nothing else is needed for this room, but because it's a machine, machines can set on fire. If they're not maintained enough, they will set on fire. So I always put a fire extinguisher in a room that has a machine in it. And you can see there, that room was prestige level 2. So something I didn't mention with the GP room is that if you look in the top right, you can see level 2. And the more stuff you put in here, you can see that prestige level goes up, right? And the higher the prestige, the more efficient the room's going to be and the people in it. And you can see it's level 3 now. You can see it was going up before, and the maximum you can get is level 5. I am not going to leave these plants in there, so I'm just going to quickly get rid of these plants and sell them. And you can see if anything's inaccessible in the room, it does that blurry look, and you need to sell the item before you can complete the room. So I'm now going to complete the room, and we're going to need to hire a nurse. So let's just pause it, and let's find a nurse. So we've got quite a few nurses here. Let's just have a look at their different stats. So we've got treatment, we've got bedside manner, and we've got stamina training. Stamina is obviously going to work longer without a break. Bedside manner is better patient happiness, and treatment is going to improve their treatment skills. And then over here we have a diagnosis skill. We have an emotional intelligence skill, which means that staff members are just going to be happier than usual. And we have a pharmacy management skill. Now, working in the pharmacy, the perfect employee is going to have pharmacy management or treatment skills. If you want any nurse to work in any treatment room, just have your pharmacies with treatment staff. But if you want specifically only for nurses, some pharmacists to work in the pharmacy. Instead of having just treatment, you would have pharmacy management like here. Now, 36,000 is quite expensive for now, so I'm not going to hire the one with pharmacy management, especially since we're not going to be using diagnostics because they're just going to be treating people. So I'm going to go for, let's have a look. So we've got motivated, grumpy, hot, short temper, positive, and motivated. Let's just get rid of that one. Oh, we got 3 days to the next applicant. Let's just quickly wait and see who comes. Our patient can wait just slightly. Oh, that didn't really help, did it? So no, I'm not going to hire them. Let's hire... I mean, they're all pretty much the same price. So do we want a short temper or a grumpy? Becomes nasty when unhappy. Let's do the short temper, because hopefully Amy will not be unhappy. So let's pop the nurse in here. And you can see in the top right that once we do this, we're going to have completed this challenge like that. And we'll be able to move on. So let's watch this patient be treated. So we can zoom right in here. And the jug mate. So you can see that's how much health the machine's got, that green bar. Oh, and you can see we're also making a loss in the bottom right at the moment. Not treating enough people. And you can see we've already got a queue outside the pharmacy room. So let's speed things up, and we just got 5k. Brilliant. We've got our first patient cured, and you should actually receive a trophy at this point when you cure your first patient. So congratulations. So what do we have here? Yeah, hospital reputation depends on cure rate and how happy people are. So look, we got another person coming in, and now the hospital's just kind of running like clockwork. All right, so we got some machinery. As I said, the health goes down. We need janitors to repair them. Janitors are also going to clean up the hospital in general, replace and restock vending machines, water plants, captured ghosts if you have any. So let's hire a janitor. And as you can see at the bottom there, make sure we got some fire extinguishers ready, because if that health of the machine goes all the way down, it's going to set on fire.
Mechanical degradation is the #1 cause of hospital fires.
Okay, so we've got Kelly's, who specialises in maintenance, so you can see that. We've got our emotional intelligence. This is our mechanics, so you can upgrade machines. We have a ghost capture, so you have to have the ghost capture skill to be able to capture ghosts. And then motivation, which we've already seen. And then here we've got 2 mechanics, maintenance, and 1 mechanics. And this guy's funny and hygienic. I like hygienic, especially for a hospital. So I'm going to, quite expensive, but I'm going to go ahead and hire Sammy. And if we want to, we can train him in ghost capture if we need to. So there we go. We now have Sammy. And you can see that this health bar has deteriorated just slightly. You can see just there. And it will deteriorate again once this person's been. So you see that. Oh, and we need to place 2 fire extinguishers to move on. So we've already placed 1, so not a problem. And I'm just going to place, where should we put it? I'm just going to place another in that room just to be sure. I don't usually, but it's just for, do you know what? We don't need it. I'm going to sell it. So wait there. Let me just sell this. And I sold it for the exact same price that I bought it for, so no issues there. So we've now got some other tasks to do. Benches, leaflet stand, drinks machine, and snack machine. So bench is going to help if there's long queues outside of rooms. Our patients can sit instead of standing. That will improve their happiness level. We have a leaflet stand. That's going to keep them entertained, so it will reduce boredom. Not quite sure how, but it does. And what they do is they'll stand next to the leaflet stand and they'll just twist it. So I'm going to put it next to the reception desk. We then need a drinks machine because we don't want our patients to be thirsty. Burp. So I'm going to put the drinks machine just here so they don't have far to go between rooms, and a snack machine just here. And the reason why I put them close to GP rooms is because I don't want my patients to be thirsty, go all the way to this side of the hospital, and essentially have to walk all the way back to go see the GP. It slows down queues because you've got less people in your GP room. It's not going quick enough, and they lose health as they're walking because they're not being treated. So now we've got that done. Yeah, place some items to make a nice waiting area for patients. That's what we've done. Let me just speed this up. And you can see the hospital's just ticking away quite nicely. And now we need a staff room. So, as you can see here, staff get tired as they work. They'll eventually go on a break. The staff room will help them relax and return to work energized. Drinks and snacks will help keep them happy too. If you make the room larger and fill it with interesting items, it will be considered more prestigious. That's what we spoke about before. People using a high prestige room will become happier. A nicer staff room will help staff regain energy faster. So let's build a staff room. So, as I've already said, I have an ideal way to build a staff room. We haven't unlocked all the stuff to do it yet, so I will show you later on once we've unlocked stuff. And the minimum size for this room is 3x2, but as always, I like to keep my rooms minimum 3x4. And I'm just going to put the staff room here for now, just so it's close to all the other rooms. And in my perfect staff room, I put the door in the middle. I have 3 sofas. So let me just disable the snap. I put one there. I put one... come on, just there. And then one here, just so it covers all angles. I then put their own little drinks machine, just in case they get thirsty, and a snack machine. Now, what you want to look out for also is if people are drinking, if people are eating, there's going to be rubbish. So I just put 2 little bins here, and to be honest, I'm going to put a bin just here as well, just for the patients. And then that is going to be our staff room. And when we unlock more things, I will add more things to this ideal room design that I have. But for now, we'll leave it like that. So now staff can go on breaks. Now the thing is, when staff go on breaks, they're not going to be in the room. So it's always handy to make sure you've got replacement staff, so that you can have one on, one off. The staff will head to the staff room when they're on the break. Yeah, we've seen that. And if we want to force a staff to have a break, we can put them in there just by picking the staff member up. So, for example, let's wait till this... Oh, hang on. Charlie work. Drinks and snacks keep people happy. Can lead to littering. Yeah, there are no bins. People will litter. Janitors will help maintain. We spoke to that. So that's okay. So that's why we put that bin there. So you can see that this nurse, if we click on them, they're not really tired, they're quite happy. So you can see working in a pharmacy, you can see the happy sign, and you can see the energy sign just underneath. So we don't need to put them on a break, although we could, because they don't need to see anyone at the moment. This guy's a bit tired, so let's pick him up and just bang him in the staff room. We've got no one queuing for our GP room, so now's a good time to do it. And what we can do is we can just select him, and you can see his energy go up. Energy goes up, so we pick him up and we put him in the back in the GP room. Now you can see that little sign above the GP room basically means there's a patient waiting but no doctor. So let's just put him in, and before we move on, let's just build some toilets, because that's the next thing we need to do for the next level or next objective. So you can do your toilets 3x2. I tend to actually have them 4x2, and I'll show you how I do them. You can fit 3 toilets along there. You can put a hand dryer just here, because hand dryers, you'll see, increase the hygiene level. and then sinks, which also increase the hygiene level. You don't have to have sinks in. You could just have toilets, but I like to put the sinks in. So I just put them outside the toilet, and then done. And then that's my toilet. Usually I'll put in some radiators, so we've not got to the radiator part yet, but when we get there, you'll see. I swear I feel like I'm saying that a lot. When you get there, we'll see. But it's only level 1. We've got a long way to go, guys. So, further diagnosis. We're having supports in new illnesses in town. They might be hard to diagnose. We may need a new diagnosis room if a GP isn't certain, and they'll send a patient for further diagnosis. So let's see. Can we build? Yes, we can build a general diagnosis room. Hang on, hospital level. Yeah, we've spoken to that. More rooms, more staff, hospital level increases, gets busier, more queues, more officers. Yeah, we're with that.
A bigger hospital is a better hospital.
What we can do is we can actually move these rooms now. So you see what I did there? Wait there, let me just... I clicked on the room itself, I clicked edit, and you can see we can now move the room. You can add to the room, you can edit the room, so I'm going to move that along. I'm also going to do the same for the staff room. Now, if we do it to a room that already has people in, it will kick them out. But let's just move that quickly to here. And you'll see, I'll explain why I'm doing that, because I'm going to build the, what's it called? The general diagnosis room here. Do you know what? There's actually going to be a bit of a gap, so let me build the general diagnosis room first. So you can see we need the easy scan, which is where the patient's going to go, and an examination table. Well, the doctor's going to go there, and the patient's going to go to the examination table. So I'm just going to stick that there. It is a machine, so I'm going to put in a fire extinguisher, and I'm going to place that there. Now, let me move these rooms back. Because ideally, I don't want to have these funny little gaps. And you could here, if you wanted to expand your toilets to be 3 by 4. I'm not, I can't be bothered, but you could. So you can see that this patient's being thrown out the room, so they're going to fly off. And you can see that we've already completed some of the missions to unlock the ward. So we've already got hospital to level 3. We did that by doing the diagnosis room, and we just need to cure 2 patients. So we can see there's a queue outside the pharmacy. Our nurse, because we kicked them out, they don't automatically always go look for work. So let's just plop them in, and let's move this along. So you can see we cured 5 patients. Each cure boosts our reputation. So we can see we haven't had to use the diagnosis room yet. And we're making a profit. 5,000. Not bad. For now. So you can see, alright, so you can see this patient here. Diagnosis 69%. Oh, sorry, let me just move. Yeah, there we go. 69%. So, yeah, you see 69% there. So if you go in the info, they actually need further diagnosis. So they're now going to go in the diagnosis room. Now, the diagnosis room needs a nurse. Perfect. We have 2 nurses, none with the diagnosis treatment, but they do have the pharmacy. So let's hire this nurse, stick them in the pharmacy room, and we'll pick up this one and put them in general diagnosis. Now, what you can do, and this is what I recommend you do, is if you go to staff here, I'll go through this. So there's a list of all the staff. You can review them all. You can see how happy they are. So that's what level they are. So you can see level 2, and you can see that on the way, 140 experience points out of 250 to get to the next level. We can see that their qualifications. They have GP and blank. Now, if they have a blank, they will get to, say, 250 experience, but they will never progress to the next level. So if you're not training your staff, they will not progress. They will get unhappy, and all goes to doom. We then have their happiness level, their current happiness level, and their current energy level. We can also look at how happy they are with their pay. So you can see here, you can adjust their pay using these little sliders here, or you can adjust everyone's pay, and you can see that our 12-month profit is actually negative 75. And you can see everyone's kind of in the mid-range of their pay satisfaction. That's bottom right. We then have, which is what I want to talk about, is the job assignments. So what you can do here is you can make it so certain staff members only work in certain rooms. So for example, I don't want Amy to work in the pharmacy because Melissa's the best pharmacist because she has the pharmacy management skill. I also then don't want Melissa to be wasted in the general diagnosis room. So I'm going to take her off general diagnosis. You don't have to do that, but I just think it's best to maximize essentially the efficiency. So you can see someone going into our general diagnosis room. They've now got 22% extra. So let's just click on them. So you can see before we were on the log, we had 69. Now we've got an extra 22. So they're going to go back to the GP's office to then get pushed onto treatment. Now you can make it so once patients hit a certain threshold of diagnosis, they will automatically go to the next treatment level. This reduces your queues in the GP room. Highly, highly recommend that. So if you go to overview, and we'll go through all these screens later, I'm not going through them now, but if you go to overview and you go all the way to policy, you can see here, you can fast track your patients to go directly to the treatment rather than go back to the GPs for diagnosis. So I'm going to click that. I also always click to promote staff automatically because it gives them a default pay rise to keep them satisfied, and it just automatically pushes it through so you've got more time to do other things. And I usually keep my diagnosis threshold for treatment down to 85. If you had it lower, then you could do risky treatments which might not be needed, or it might be the wrong treatment. If you had it too high, then people are going to be going to the nth degree to get diagnosed. I found personally anywhere between 80 and 90% is pretty good. So I'm just going to leave it 85% right in the middle, and let's move on. So this patient now, we've completed that section. It's going to go to the GP's office just because we hadn't set the policy yet. But now we have, they won't have to do that in future. So newsflash, there's a peculiar illness in town, lightheadedness. We're going to need some expensive equipment to deal with this. This is really funny, this one. Continue expanding the hospital to unlock the treatment room. We may also need another GP's office and some more staff to keep on top of things.
Staff should not be caught
So,
staring at peculiar illnesses.
you can see here, we've now got the objectives to build 2 GP's offices, hire 2 doctors, hire 2 nurses. We've done that already. Earn $15,000, and you'll see that will progress. So it says 15,000 remaining, but it will decrease as we progress. And then get the hospital level to level 4. And once we've done that, we're going to unlock the Deluxe Clinic. That's going to help us cure this new illness. So, really handy trick. If you click on the room, you can click copy, and what that does, it copies the room. We can now place it wherever we want. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to free up some space. I'm not going to move the door. I'm going to free up some space. So where should we put the toilets? Where should we put them? I'm going to put them here for now. Facing the other way. Apologies. And I am going to also move the staff room. I'm going to move everything down a bit, although that has just interrupted a patient treatment, so I probably should have waited. But too late now. And what I'm going to do is copy the GP's office and stick that there. We then need to hire another doctor. So let's have a look. This person has good diagnosis skills and good GP practice, so they're going to be pretty good. You see they're quite expensive, they're positive, and seems impressive from a distance. This guy's got, or this lady, sorry, Betty, has no training slots yet, and because we can't train staff, I'm not going to select them. Usually, I would eat up basic student doctors with no training, because then I can mold them to the exact doctor, nurse, assistant janitor I want them to be. So let's just give it 3 days just to see who else comes. But I'm pretty sure I'm going to hire, I'm going to hire this guy, stick him in. And we've discovered a new illness, misery guts. Chronic grumpiness due to oh dear. We'll send the patient for a treatment to a pharmacy, so that can be treated by the pharmacy.
Nurse,
perfect.
please go to the pharmacy.
So now all we need to do is earn 15k and just get our hospital up to the next level. So you can see the janitors fixing our drug mixer. What have we got here? Bed face. We need a ward. I don't think we've unlocked the ward yet. Oh no, we have. We must have literally just unlocked it. So unlock the ward. So I'm just going to pause it here. And I'm just going to build a ward. I build this 5x5. So if you put a door in, you have a space for the nurse. I always have the desk facing this way. Purely because that means I can fit a screen here, and essentially when the patients leave or go in the ward, they're going to need to go to the screen. So how I usually do it is I will have, to be honest, I usually make the ward bigger than this, but we won't need it for now. Usually what I'd do is I'd have the ward here, this size. I'd put a bed here, another bed here, and probably a screen somewhere over here. Yeah, back here. Just so then everyone can change. You've then got 2 screens, so you're not clogging anything up. Do you know what? I'll just leave it like this just to save hassle. Essentially, that's usually how I do my wards. There's a few more items that we haven't unlocked yet. I know I'm saying that a lot. That I do add to this room, but we'll just leave it like that for now. Now, I'm actually going to move this leaflet just a bit, just because I don't want that corner or this corridor to be too cramped. You usually want your corridors to be, say, at least 2 grids, 2 blocks, because otherwise people are going to bump into each other. So we can see that our assistant is on a break, so they're about to move in. Wards. We literally just got told about the wards. So there we go. So the assistant's now going to go there. Yeah, we're making a loss, and we need another nurse to work in the ward. So I don't want this one because they were grumpy. And let's see what we've got. Have we got anyone that specialises in working in a ward? Because there is a skill, ward management. So let's wait and have a look. No. But what they're going to be doing in this room is they're going to be treating. So I'd rather hire a nurse that has a treatment skill. Now, what you can do with wards, especially, because more than one person can work in this building. So if you click on the door, you can see, and you go to stats. So you can see this is a level 2 room. It's not very attractive. The temperature's not that good, but it's very hygienic. Brilliant. It's got 0 people in the queue, and it has a nurse working in. So what we can do is we can make it so you can only be treated in this room. You can only be diagnosed in this room. But you can also add extra staff. So I always have it, especially when I've got this many beds and I've got 2 screens, I always have the option to have an extra staff member if needed, so that if we do have all those beds occupied, we do have the staff to be able to handle that. So let's just crack on. We're very close to unlocking the deluxe clinic.
Doctor needed.
Let's get that done. Any day now, that's gonna happen. I love the music. It's So, and then after this, we've essentially done the tutorial section of the game, and we're going to start moving on to... Oh, we just killed someone. That's what that star means. Not star, that's what that noise means. Someone's died. Let's hope they don't turn into a ghost. So, the hospital star rating. So, 2-point Health Ministry is keen to recognise the achievements of every hospital in the county. If we build a hospital that satisfies the needs of the local area, the hospital will be rewarded with an official star rating. This will be great for our organisation. Not only does each star come with associated rewards, but will also allow us to establish new hospitals around the county. Continue to expand the hospital to acquire 1-star rating. Now, essentially, there's going to be different tasks for us to do. They're going to get progressively harder as you go 1-star, 2-star, 3-star, which is the max you can do, and you unlock new levels and new equipment, new items for doing it. So, let me just pause. So, number 1, that person's dying. That ain't good. That's going to affect our reputation and our cure rate. It is unfortunately a common thing, but it's not that big a deal. So, we can see in the top right, to get a 1-star hospital, we have to cure 3 patients with the lightheadedness disease. So, for that, we need to build a deluxe clinic. So, deluxe clinic can be 3 by 3. Now, I'm going to leave it at 3 by 3. I'm going to put the door... I'm going to put the door here because I don't want my corridor to be too cramped. And essentially, we've got a machine. And what's going to happen is the patient's going to sit there on that seat. So we want to make it as close to the door as possible. And the doctor is going to use this controls panel to effectively cure them. So we're going to put that there, and because it's a machine, as always, fire extinguisher. And we can actually, if we want to, spend some of the kudos points, which we now have. So you can see in the bottom right, we have 70. I'm not going to do it yet. I'm going to save it up because I really want to buy some of this stuff as early as possible, but just not yet. So you can see all these different posters we can buy. Yeah, we'll get there. So I have built this room so we can now cure people with lightheadedness. We've got a new disease for the pharmacy. Yeah, we've unlocked some kudos. And let's just have a look at our staffing situation. 2 doctors, and we have 3 rooms that need doctors. 1, 2, and 3. So let's hire another doctor. But our doctors at the moment don't really have any skills. So I'm just going to leave it just slightly. You can see we're getting a bit of a queue at our pharmacy, so we need that to work quicker. And yeah, you can see the guy's just died there. Let's pray he doesn't turn into a ghost. Yeah, there we go. Yeah, it happens. But if it does turn into a ghost, then we need a janitor with that ghost skill. So you can now see we have a lightheadedness patient. Our first fun disease. But we still don't have a doctor. Let's just wait a few days. Come on. One of the doctors is going to go in there anyway. Ugh. Alright, let's just go for the best one here. Boring. Why is everyone boring? Motivated. Fast learner. Charming. We'll do that one. Alright, there we go. So, let's watch this just because it's good fun. Just gonna go at normal speed. So, the doctors pull on the handle, they sit down, take off the light bulb. Let's get rid of that. Where's my head? They're now creating a new head for them. And there we go. We have cured a patient with lightheadedness. That makes me laugh. And you can see that's the lightheadedness area. It's got a nice picture of it on the door. So, the hospital's kind of running itself now,
I've
really.
been humming that tune to myself all week, which
we
is
could do
uncanny
with
because
a
I've never heard
better
it before. Or
doctor.
have I? Oh well.
We
more
might
catchy
need
music coming right up.
another janitor, especially if people die that has the ghost trait. Don't want to hire this one yet, just because they're gross apparently and they make people feel sick. Don't really want that for a hospital. So yeah, we can just kind of just wait it out until more lightheadedness people come through, and that will give us 1 star. So you can see that queue's going down, don't need to worry about that. We've got a doctor here who's kind of just walking around, not really got anything to do. So you can see there, we might have too many doctors as some of them are idle. I tend to disagree. We've got 3 rooms, 3 doctors. We just don't really have that many patients right now. What I am going to do though, is I'm going to change... I'm going to make sure that this guy is the only one that works in the treatment room, because he has extra 20% on treatment skills. That's going to give us the best chance to successfully treat a patient with lightheadedness. And look, we've got another one. So we have 1, 2, 3 rooms for nurses, so you can see we need to get our doctors in and our nurses. So let's have a look. Nurses, let's pick this one up. No time for break now. Get in there. So you can see it's queuing. And because our GP, although we know that this one's got lightheadedness, our GP isn't good enough to be able to diagnose them to the 85% threshold that we set. It's only 72%, you can see there. So they're going to go to the ward just to get that further diagnosis and then be sent for treatment. Another new illness that we're sending through the pharmacy, bogwarts, a rather disgusting skin condition caused by filthy toilets. It can be cured by an expensive cocktail of drugs. Prepared by the pharmacy or with witchcraft. Oh dear. So if you want a janitor to specifically come to a machine, you can click here, which is the call janitor to repair. And what that does, you can see that sign pops up, and the janitor is eventually going to come there. Once he's done tying around. There we go. So we can see this patient, because they're bored, they've gone all the way over there, because they're waiting to be seen by a doctor. So let's just grab this guy and stick him in there. And then we'll treat another patient with lightheadedness. I like watching some of these, because they're really funny. What head are we getting? Oh, nice glasses. So this guy's actually died. So, not great. So we don't get that extra cure. And they've turned into a ghost. Even better. So we're now going to have to hire this janitor straight away, get them to capture this ghost. Because the ghost will scare people away. You'll see. And after every year, we get the 2 Point County Healthcare Awards ceremony, where we have Doctor of the Year, Nurse of the Year, Janitor of the Year, Assistant of the Year, Patient's Choice Award, so voted by the patients, most prestigious hospital, the nicest hospital with the best working environment, no deaths, we've definitely not won that, and Employer of the Year. So you can either open them all one by one, and other hospitals may win them, and you can see that you actually get awards because of it. You get like rewards, as in like kudos or money. You can open them all individually, or we can still. So we've got Doctor of the Year and Nurse of the Year. So you can see we've got $5,000 and 5 kudos points and some extra reputation. So I'm just going to click open them all, just because otherwise it's a long animation. So we got 3. So we got that and the most prestigious hospital. That's pretty good for our first hospital, first outing. Yes, you see when a patient dies, sometimes we get a ghost. Who do we call? Qualified ghost capturer. Cheers me up. And our assistant is chilling, so let's just make sure that there. You can actually pick up staff straight away by pressing square. I'm still getting used to the PlayStation controls. Used to playing it on the Switch. And yeah, we've probably got one too many doctors, but I just like to have usually 2 staff per room, just so one can break and one not. You can run a tighter ship than that. I just think that this is a better way. So we're going to have to do some more diagnosis on this lightheadedness patient. And we can literally just let this tick along. We're waiting until we cure 2 more patients with lightheadedness, and then we'll move on to the 2-star criteria. So let's just watch these guys work. Let's send our drug mixer while no one's there to get repaired a bit more. What head are we getting today? Another cured patient. Another 5k. And they pay 5k whether we cure them or not. And we got another lightheadedness coming through, so we should get that 1-star soon. If your prices are too high, sometimes patients will actually refuse to pay. And you can adjust your prices here. You can adjust them individually for all the different things, or you can adjust them all, and that does affect patient happiness and their reputation. But you get more money, so you've got a nice balance. So let's see. There we go. We have our first star in our first hospital. So congratulations, your hospital has been awarded a 1-star rating. That's 1 out of a possible 3 by the 2 Point Health Ministry. I have retrieved your file from my bin to celebrate. They did not think we were going to do too well. Continue to develop your enterprise in Hogsport for further esteem and trinkets if you believe you're capable of more. Alternatively, run before you can walk and begin to expand your organisation by opening a new hospital in Lower Bullocks. The choice, as they say, is yours. Yours fragrantly. Oh. So you can see we got an extra 10k there for the hospital. We got 100 kudos points, and we unlocked the Lower Bullocks and the lightheadedness poster. So the Lower Bullocks is a new hospital. You can see that by the sign, and the lightheadedness poster is obviously a poster. So let's see what the next things are for 2 stars. I'm just going to pause it. So we need to cure 25 patients, earn 200k, and get our hospital to level 6. We're going to cover that in the next video. I'm going to do these videos a star at a time, so there should be 3 per level, just because otherwise we're going to have some really long videos. I mean, this video is nearly an hour now. So thank you for watching. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe if you want to see more and if you like this video. And I shall catch you on the next episode, where we will be getting 2 stars on Hogsport. Bye for now.